gets the tier 2 in the mid lane, got the scatter of the week across, got a double kill, and then the all out from Sparta actually essentially saved him. Had that stopwatch managed to get out with his life. And now GAM starting off with Slater grabbing himself that side.
I mean, no real change up here. Curious to see if they do decide to take away the Rakan here, or if they're happy to just go for the Nautilus Kai'Sa once more. Oh, sorry, the Rakan's by the way, but I think again you're kind of in a position where you can go for this more aggressive style. We also saw Big going for things like the... Oh, he's actually, I was going to say the Rel. So they're actually going to be able to pick that one up immediately. And now it's a case of, do you go for the Kai'Sa off rip, or do you want to try and confirm one of the junglers for yourselves after the swap up in the bans?
I mean, you can always save Kai'Sa for third, right? They've already got a Sire on their side, unless we see Catty taking mid lane Kai'Sa. We've seen it before. But Sparta goes for the Rel. Wouldn't be surprised to see BJ going for priority jungler, but no. Deciding to hold that card and hope for a jungle counter pick.
Yeah, I think now you'll probably see Palace try and respond with something like the Nautilus here in response to the Rel, which you assume is going to the bot side. This would be a sick pickup for Kiaya if he's able to get his hands on it. Something he's been incredibly strong on. And I think after the last one, where the Cassante kind of had his field day up there, it looks like Kiaya has taken off the gloves himself and wants to go and have his control of that top side.
So for a bit of context on this pick from Kiaya in the top lane, this is his most played top laner across summer, 11 games played on the Jax, 82% win rate, a 7 KDA on a melee bruiser. Like, Kiaya dominates the top lane on the Jax, and now we get a Victor. This is our second Victor pick of play-ins here, and I believe it was Catty that played it the previous time.
And had a brilliant performance on it yesterday as well, so not fully surprised to see it brought out, but still having this much priority on it, I think you can kind of see that Catty understands what he's up against in Glory and how he wants to try and fight against it. So now the response from Team Wales is just going to be the Cassante and trying to put that up towards Sparta on that top side. But again, I think you're kind of happy with the way this has gone as GAM. You got a really strong top laner in the Jax on that top side of the map. Great team fighting in the 4v4 with your Xayah and your Victor. If I'm actually Team Wells, I'm not looking so much at things like the Lee Sin in that or even the Viego for Levi. I think you need to try and focus on more engage heavy support, or junglers, which is why I think you're looking at Sejuani, which was left open last one, now going to be banned away.
So that's Sejuani, not going to go on through. Wouldn't be too surprised to see more jungle bans once again. But you could see some bans towards Glory coming on through. That's what we saw last time. Catty having his choice of the matchup. This time it's not the Syndra. He's still banned. I mean, they banned the Ahri last time. They banned the Nico last time. We'll see what they go for the third ban this time, whether it's that LeBlanc once again.
Yeah, I imagine it will be the LeBlanc can do relatively well against the Victor. Or the option is actually just to get rid of the Orianna and say, hey, look, no, we just want to make sure we are stronger in team fights. Because with the Team Wales having a lot of engage set up with the Rel, the Cassante, we saw how strong Sparta could be when he got rolling on that pick. Could be an option, but we'll have to see. Actually going to be the Nocturne banned away. I'm kind of surprised at that, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, well, wasn't necessarily expecting a Nocturne ban. Does mean even more junglers off of the board. There are so many jungle bans in this one. Is Taliyah still wide open? And one of the big things we always say about Taliyah, things like the Orianna, things like the Azir do well into it, but Victor, not going to be I'll stop talking about it. It's not going to be the matchup. It's going to be the Viego locked in for BJ.
Yeah, I'm curious to see exactly what Levi wants to go for. You kind of need something that won't get pushed out. I mean, it probably is the Lee Sin, to be perfectly honest, because I just don't really know if there's much else, but you would like something that's a bit tankier. And I know Levi has played Zac in the past, but I think you end up falling too far behind if you go for something like that in the 1v1. So I think you have to go for the Lee Sin, which means Pallet needs a big engage tool. So maybe it is just a Nautilus. It could also be something like a Leona potentially here, just to make sure you've got the tanky stats that Nautilus doesn't really offer you as much as a Leona.
Could well be that. I love that Levi's taking the Lee Sin though. Literally running back the matchup the opposite way around. If he wins both of them, if that doesn't send a message to Team Wales, I don't know what will. BJ gonna have his work cut out for him. Team Wales, they've got to figure out what they want in this mid lane. The Taliyah has been the hover, and it will finally be locked in.
I really like the Taliyah here, because both the Unraveled Earth for the amount of dashes that are on GAM, but also then the wall for how immobile they are. Like, if you can burn a flash on towards the Xayah or the Victor and then they have to try and approach an objective fight, there's very easy and multiple different angles of attack for you to try and use this Weaver's Wall to cut them off, and a ton of follow-up when you look towards like Artemis even being able to send himself in. But Sparta BA will be super happy to get someone in that corner, so I'm excited to see now if Team Wales can try and fight back, because again, I think they did a really good job in the early stages of the last game. They actually got a little bit of a lead, but it was starting to fall apart in mid-game, and BJ and that were getting caught out. If you can take this a little bit slower and set up once more, or actually find setup for those fights, I think you'll be in an okay spot.
See if they're going to be able to find those moments. Palette, I'm looking towards him. The Leona, not a pick that we've been seeing a lot of, really, across the years. It feels like this has been the first year in a long time where Leona sort of fallen out of favor, but still can be an incredibly potent pick with the Eclipse online, still incredibly tanky, and can set up very well for times.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where you're looking at. Is the trade-off. Like, I know Nautilus is tanky in the stages, but a late-game Nautilus just isn't really able to cut it, because you do have to fling yourself in, but you don't get a lot of the resistances that you get with, say, like an Alistair off the ultimate or the Leona off the W. So I think that's where, again, you're kind of going, right, I want something that can actually be that engage till it goes in, but survives the initial engage setup. And Nautilus just doesn't quite have it, especially into stuff like the Rel, even Sparta. It just means that if you're going in as Nautilus, you're not getting back out. At least Leona has a bit of a chance to stick around for a while.
It's time to get underway in Tacta. It's time to get into game number 2. For Team Wales, they can look at what has happened to play-ins and get that second game on the board. They've lost game 1 of every single series and play-ins so far. See if they can get back on top of things. And don't forget to connect your League of Legends account and get yourself an experimentation emote in solo queue. But I'm looking towards this competition. I can already feel like Spider and Kiaya, you know Levi and BJ, you know they're going to go toe-to-toe. And down in that bottom lane, Bell versus Leona, I feel like that's a brawl just waiting to happen.
I mean, whenever you see Leona, it's just like, hey, jungler, down here, right here, I can set you up right here. And I think that's exactly what they might need in this engage, as Team Wales looking to do pretty much similar to the last one, which I thought was going to be good, and then back it up.
Palette going to be shouting for Levi. We'll see if Levi very literally sees that. Oh, he can't easily sin. He can't see anything.
And he's been spotted himself. It's a disaster. All the information going across to Team Wales because Lee Sin can't take the block.
It's a literal draft-based nightmare for the side of GAM. I am, of course, joking. Look, I'm not the guy to be commenting on good or bad drafts, realistically. I'll leave that to you, Dagda. As already fighting in that bottom side. We're looking towards these junglers, though. Pathing sort of went a little longer than I expected to. Will diffuse in the air.
Yeah, still mustn't be being able to push back Paladin's layer and have control of the bush means that, as you can see here, it's very difficult for them to actually try and play up. So RSMBA having good control here, even with BJ in the bot side. If he takes these bot trades, could end up with a dive. You don't want to, but maybe it is the level 2 dive. No, I was going to say, you don't have anyone tanky, but I saw how quickly they started to try and push this in, and I wasn't certain.
Yeah, you never can be too sure in this kind of matchup as well, because it's not just it's also that, like, this is personal, and for me, he didn't get to play in that finals. He needs to show up, especially after game number 1, but he's there. Just take a good chunk of it.
As Leona went in, just barely clipped him on the back end, means that B doesn't actually get stunned up. So split map at the moment, and style, like coming back even side, making sure they're able to get good control. Yeah, even on the carry, you're going to be in an okay spot to just let him push in advantages against Sparta. At the moment, Sparta again on this Cassante, great game in the last one, and hasn't really given up anything on that top end either.
The difference between this series versus what we've realistically seen in terms of game pace from both of these Vietnamese teams of this tournament so far, because in VCS reasonably aggressive in the context of it's still a reasonable pace, but playing fairly slow. It's down to the fact that you never can get a point out. You never can get a point out. A lot of that is down to games. For both of these teams, they didn't have their full rosters available to get practice in because of the schedule of Asia Games. So you can see that as the tournament's gone on, both teams have become more and more comfortable as they've been able to get more time.
I think the big one for me with Team Wales is that, although I will say last game was slightly different, simply because you end up...
I got caught out. BJ and Glory. And it will be BJ.
Glory as well, just to make sure that he to get to the wall. He can't flash over. Late board up from me. I think he just need to really try and finish off those Raptors and ends up paying for it with his life.
So Team Wales off to a good start once again, which we saw from them in game number 1-2. Just whether or not they can follow it up. Kiaya is staying very aggressively here. It's a stun. Sparta buffers it. Walk away with their lives. I'm going to be honest, I was a little nervous for Kiaya there.
I think Kiaya was always going to match the back here, but was trying really hard to see if he could get the freeze off before he went for the reset, which is why B&J was up here with Sparta. But I think, as you say, if that W had landed, he would have been a goner. Here, though, you can see Levi throws the Sonic Wave because he wants to try and use his jungle guy to finish off the Raptors, but because of that sticks around too long, late on the board hop, and then even here Glory just trying to get in front of him to try and prevent him from getting to the wall so he can't flash over. Nicely done, and just a bit of a mistake from Levi coming through.
And realistically, even if he gets the flash off, Glory and BJ both with flash available. Bia caught in the jungle here. Levi, the previous death, certainly not going to slow down his game.
Yeah, I don't know if you really want to overextend there as Team Wales to try and contest that, though. You can see Artemis had control over bot side. He's about to crash this wave, so Artemis would have missed out a lot of CS, and even when BJ was positioned, it would have been difficult for him to get in. So they will just back away, but I like the GAM again. Once bitten, they aren't twice shy. They still want to get in and try and fight against everything and get control on the map where they can, using the push on bot.
You're going to be able to get this big old crash in. A little bit of CS lead for Slater, but I think there's like 10 minions in that wave that's just crashing right now. So Reset will finally come through for Slater. First dragon onto the map. It does feel like Team Wales trying to get control of the area.
I think Team Wales are kind of responding to the fact that Sparta took a really bad trade in that top side, forced the reset. So, like, look, chances are Levi's going to be up on that top end, which is he is just because of the pathing and the clearing that's happened, and also trying to support Kiaya and getting the plate. So they're trying to cross map it at the moment and say we need to try and get a dragon in response, as Levi is more likely going to be looking to support Kiaya if that push in. So still, Kiaya getting a good lead and actually might get a good amount of damage on Sparta as he comes in here.
Sparta actually using the W a little bit early, but they all out to Kiaya. Back underneath the tower! Sparta once again punishing this top play.
This is Sparta! Every time Kiaya is trying to make a play on him in that top side, he's been absolutely decimated by this Cassante play, and that would have been it. Like, Levi just wanted to get Kiaya, hey, go for a trade, get him low, we finish him off. And now instead it's Levi who might be finished off as well as Glory in the area.
The exact same spot as last time. Glory trying to set it up for his team. That's flashed down for Levi. He's chunked on out, and Sparta and BA and BJ, the whole gang is here to ruin Levi's day.
There is always a lot more whales. They swim in packs and they find Levi in that one. Sparta getting the roam down means he's got absolutely nowhere to go except into the waiting hands of more Team Wales who've showed up.
Do you know, I don't know enough about whales to challenge whether or not they swim in packs.
They do swim. Is it a school? I know it's a school of fish, but they do swim as like families, essentially. So and in family, no one gets left behind except for Levi, who's very much behind. And also Kiaya, who kind of got ruined here by Sparta with some fancy footwork. Again, getting in behind him, getting the knockback. And then Levi, I mean, is the chicken that tasty? Like, do you really need to extend twice and get caught in the same spot by the same play at the literally a minute and a half later?
But
I'm going to say yes because I too am a lover of chicken. I'm going to say worth there. Delicious.
The producers just admitted in my ear, whales travel in pods. So thank you
In
very
pods?
much. Yeah, pods of 2 to 3. So, well, we kind of broke it there because there's about 4 of them.
Yeah.
So, little too many, but it still works out.
Team Wales, they're a big pod. They're a big pod. It may not be normal, but it's certainly looking good here and playing so far. Palette going for a dive here. Slater's here. Levi's here, but it's a great crash down from Bia. And actually, taking a lot of damage so far. Not getting much back as Artemis finally falls, but it's 1-for-1. Bia surviving, but they got Artemis down. He's going to lose so much CS.
That's a massive wave to lose. And GAM responding nicely there on that bottom side, getting the play. Glory actually going to ult in here just to pick up the wave. I like this to make sure that you can get enough of that experience. It's not just going to waste. You see the push coming through from Catty in the mid lane, though, means that you'll have the lane swap coming through from Artemis in towards the mid lane to try and catch that wave as it goes through. So Artemis still going to be substantially behind, whereas Glory are going to pick up a little bit of an advantage off that, but nicely done from GAM, just getting that kill across.
Yeah, very nicely done. GAM sort of getting themselves a bit on the board again, because it felt like things were getting away from GAM here in game number 2. It felt like Team Wales was starting to find the advantage. As all out once again from Sparta. He goes back in onto the counter-strike, but he's just going to kill him.
No.
Pallet tried to move up to turn the matchup, but it just doesn't matter. Sparta is just decimating him.
Pallet shows up and realizes Sparta's a forklift doing absolute work in this top lane. Catching out Kiaya again, 0-2 on the Jacks. Maybe PA looking to answer in that bot side again. I mean, what's going on in top lane? I don't understand. This is supposed to be the moment for Kiaya. I was like, let's go, you're gonna have a great time, and I don't know.
I mean, Kiaya's had such a good tournament, but I mean, we keep on talking about the fact that this is a rematch. These guys have played against each other before. Perhaps it's that Sparta he's figured him out, perhaps.
I think it's just this Cassante, to be perfectly honest about it.
Well,
like,
yeah.
Sparta's perfectly happy to bring it out. Yeah.
You said the thing you don't say out loud.
Yeah, you said the inner thought out loud, but
Go for a dive in the mid lane. That is going to be Catty going down. Glory to pick up the kill. Nice bit of coordination. Another pod play from Team Wales.
Positive. No, I was going to say positive, but positive. That didn't really work.
Play.
Look, it's early.
It's a triple P is what it is.
But really, really nice play coming through from Team Wales again. And Sparta, get the replay here. Kay has just been taking like really bad trades again as this with the Sheen proc, the knockback, and also just able to get the knockback a second time there as the stun comes through, denies Pallet the opportunity to come in, just going that bit early. The VA X flash over the wall, sets up beautifully, and these are kind of the plays that you get to make with this triple threat essentially. Like the easy CC from Rel sets up both for BJ and Glory so easy.
Does. Artemis having quite a quiet series so far, and as he's caught out, the feathers go in, but won't be able to pull back for the root as Artemis keeping himself alive with that cleanse. Now Catty once again, flash still available, but I mean, where are you going to flash to there? Glory and BJ linking up and finding advantages.
And Sparta now going to be able to get plates on this, at least a plate, I'd say, on this top side. Riptown now moved in towards the mid lane, means the plates there, and the only place that is really falling massive far behind is in this bot lane, but you can see player matchup there very firmly in favour of Team Wales, because they're going to pick up their second dragon. It looks like, again, the curse of Team Wales might be coming through. Lose game 1 to give teams false hope and come alive in game number 2.
I was going to start making puns about GAM being sharks after that first game, but it is feeling more like Krill than sharks at this point, because 7-1 on the scoreboard, 3,000 gold lead. They've already got the 2 Drakes, in fact 4,000 gold lead. I can't even count. 2 Drakes back to back now. They got the first Herald, looking towards the second one. Aside from that one kill, this is basically a perfect game.
Yeah, it's been absolutely spectacular. And this is exactly what I was hoping to see from Team Wales, with kind of how they built up people's hopes over the course of this play-ins. Because as you say, doubted almost every step of the way. Now going up against a rematch of the team that beat them in the finals 3-1, and they're looking spectacular. We'll have to see if Team Wales can try and keep this one up. I love, again, the fact that we're getting Bay, working with BJ, and playing off of this mid lane, because I think this is how you should try to play around Atalia. Get the CC, set things up. You can even see here again, the second caddy is in lane, so are Bay and BJ.
That's going to be an ultimate down onto Artemis. He can walk away, be it find space for his AD carry there. Catty just desperate to crash this wave in, and will get a bit of help from Pallet to do so. I'd love to hear what the strategy meeting coming into game number 2 was for Team Wales when they all huddled up in the pod. Because as far as I can tell, it's like, BJ, Glory work together, shut down Catty early so he can't be this monster carrying team fights. Artemis and Bia just kind of hang in there. Sparta just slaughter Kiaya. Just absolutely annihilate 1v1.
Just do your thing again, same as game 1. I do love the idea that they speak in like whale analogies, which is like they are orcas, and like I don't know if people know, but like whales will just hate orcas and will go out of their way to like save seals that orcas are chasing and just attack the orcas. Yeah, they like have a personal vendetta against orcas. So I love the idea that like that's the analogy to go through. It's like, what are we? Whales. What are they? Orcas. Who are we going to save? The seals. It's like, it's all perfect. It works out beautifully.
I've got to be honest, when you say it about you know, Wales talking in a team chat. I thought you were going to go into Wales song for a second there. I was very close to doing it myself, but I'm not sure the viewers deserve that.
I mean, look, I'm sure your Wales song is as amazing as your karaoke is, but we'll save them from that. As our Mascar Lane Economy Snapshot is going to save us from going down this rabbit hole with Sparta again looking fantastic in this top side. 3 kills, plates galore from as well. 2 dragons across the Team Wales. I think this is now where I'm going to, it's a case of how the hell do GAM try and slow down the pace of this game? Because they still have a Victor, they still have the Zaya who will come on in the later portion, but it feels like you need to try and find those same picks that broke up in the game last time. See if you can find BJ, even ones like this where Artemis is kind of separated solo, killing the dragon. May give you an opportunity. Because I will say, this is a bit of a weird timing for the bottom side.
Yes, it's often you see the AD carry come up and solo the Rift Herald, but that's the world we're living in. It's Artemis grabs that one for himself. And as you rightly say, in game number 1, our snapshot looked reasonably similar to us, but then it came down to the way that they were moving on the map. GAM finding these individual picks on Pia, on BeamJ, and then kind of snowballing off the back of that, finding teams. I mean, Catty last game had so much solo time load in those side lanes on his Syndra. This time around, though, I don't think he'll be able to have that same presence in the lane. That's
yeah, the fact he's 0-2 times, because when we think back to the last game, like 6-1, I think it was by the end of the game, so significantly more impact on the Syndra, and I think that's where Team Wales kind of correctly identified that Catty was just such a big playmaker. Now,
Glory taking a hit to try and get this damage down. Pallet going to be the target as BJ dives in, forcing the flash, but it's BJ's flash in trade for it.
And Sparta going to be back down to that side to respond to Jay. We thought maybe get some alone time with this turret, but not going to be able to do so. Also the fact that now, again, we do have the Rift Herald, it means we need to keep our eyes on where Artemis is positioned as he moves up towards his top side.
Really far forward, but so is apparently Levi caught out on the top side of the play. I thought that was BS overstepping, just like game number 1. But I'm proven wrong. Team Wales finding these advantages once again. Over the wall. Onto BeamJ. Absolutely shredding the hellfire here as Glory flies in as well. Trying to deny the flash here. Ignite. Burning away. The first strike. Catty! No matter how the game goes, he's still finding these kills.
I was not expecting the Leandri's Anguish first strike proc to take down Glory there, but Catty calculated. Right as we were saying, hey, this guy needs to kind of step up his game. He massively does so, and Glory way overextended on that one. Thought he'd be able to get the flick back, tries to predict it, doesn't happen. This is a great pick here. So, stun lands, flick back to Glory, easy as a beautiful combo. But at this stage, just like, right, let's just take tower. Like, let's try and use the advantage that we have. But they end up trying to overextend here as BeamJ gets a nice play onto Catty as he comes in over the wall. At this stage, there's no need to overchase. Glory going too far forward. The ult comes down, doesn't get the flick back, and then the Leandri's Anguish first strike combo. The thing I didn't know I needed at this time.
I've got to be honest, Glory doing a bit of a double lift right there. Goes right into the face of a Victor who just turns around and goes, no, one shot.
I wasn't going to catch Trace like that.
Brutal. Yeah, a lot of damage coming out. It's not an interaction you see often, is it? The first strike proc off the Leandris, but here we go. Combo onto Pallet. Go too far forwards. Catty is here, trying to punish, and he's breaking from Levi to turn the fight. Catty wants to go down though. Team Wales still a point ahead in this one. Slater versus Artemis. Artemis chasing Slater out of the jungle.
You're not quite able to get into position, but here we go. How quickly can you run BeamJ on the chase? Doesn't have a stun for another 2 seconds.
Down here, honestly, one hop though. Bia trying to get the crash down, trying to get the stun. And the blast cone might be enough, but no! Pulled out of the air by Sparta. Another ward hop to get to safety. Gaia still has his flash. How the hell is he get away with that?
Yeah, styling on them a little bit, but it's styling on them to retreat. And it means that now it's on the attack for Team Wales, although
being in behind enemy lines. He's gone 1v4 for this one. Chaos Storm comes down, the stun burning. Sparta finds space for his team. Team Wales will get away, and in the meantime, Quality's terrible.
Yeah, I think overextension there for GAM. They really wanted to get Catty in a position. We will come through just a turret, and they really want to try and set up to get the gravity well to keep able to do so with the amount of saves that Team Wells have. So just need to put in the team heat, not pick up too much of terror. Just it's a nice pick from Team Wells. Immediately they see their opportunity to turn on panic. I mean, why did you need a ward there? Let's be real. Like, you already know Caddy's just going to clear out that wave and then back off. You've been trying to put him underneath the tower, but this deep into river when you know they've just done Dragon, just going to set up perfectly for Team Mouse to pick you off. And then Kiaya with the hero escape on the backside.
So, we return for a second to normalcy. 5 games, let's say. Team Mouse. He's like the best in the game. So, Team Wales set up for a potential area. Not going to just.
They need to wait a little bit of time. The team position doesn't have TP, so he can press these sides. So just getting the vision shot down in case they do want to fight. They do have the ability to burn down the barn, but realistically, before they die too over.
Got that lethality. However, this is not the same as like a conversation about that. Well, the rest of the gang is here. The whole pod arriving to try and get Kiaya. This time they find this splash.
And this time GAM are in position to actually threaten the mid lane turret, so we can just burn this one down and try and exit out towards that bottom side of the map. I don't know though if what Team is going to try and achieve here. They're in a bit of a weird spot.
It's not quite deep for this one, but the rest of the team is always slain in trouble. Levi jumps to his teammate, already low on HP and force splash. Pala buying space for his team as in goes Artemis to the 1v3. Gets out inside, Catty chasing him, forces the flash from Artemis, but it's one kill onto Pala so far. Catty cannot escape either, and Glory happy to chase for this one. Wants an extra kill onto his opposite man. He's burning. Catty is burning. Beer finishes him off, shatters him to pieces.
Gets Lance down where he stands, and now Team Wales, having picked off the support of the mid laner, they're going to turn over towards the Baron. Going to take a little bit of time before the support and the mid laner can get there, but Levi, he's about to show him bot side. Team Wales
certainly are. 11-2 scoreline as they grab themselves on a mid game. Way less mistakes than you.
I mean, for this Glory, it's just that the team wasn't in place. And at that stage, Value gets caught out on the top side. Artemis is trying to escape as Catty flashes. Team Wales are able to continue to follow up on this one. So Team Wales putting their foot down. Incredibly strong.
So we need to see finish this one out. They've got the Red Bull power play on their side. Jay, nice with it. And BJ was one of the heat defenders. Both of them now definitely. Feels like the coaching staff had a serious word with those two players. The enemy squad away, Dragon down. That's so big. It's a great crash down onto the right line. And GAM are gone before the fight's even begun. Levi gets it. But it's nowhere near. Not BJ finishing the forwards towards Catty. It's an ace. It's a solo outside of Team Wales.
A glorious flick back from the Talia, gets the double stun onto Kiaya and then sets up that fight. Team Wales open the base easily now. This is a more confident play from Team Wales. The opportunity to now represent the VCS going into the main stage at World. Both these teams dying to get their hands on that spot.
And GAM proving, Wales proving once again that they're not going to let GAM get away with it easy. Not going to let this be a clean series.
Look at the flick back here. Glory straight onto Palagaya trying to get onto Sparta, which then sets up perfectly here for the team to follow through the choke point. Sparta ends up in the back line as well, so BJ alongside him, and they just rip.
I love BJ holding the ultimate there, so I wanted to get some being Slater for a moment there. Even though, actually, same amount of items for BJ. Yeah. I feel like he probably does similar damage to what Slater's able to at this point in the game.
It's also, don't forget, a lot of people, the W on Xayah gives you movement speed towards people. So the longer you can stay in the Xayah, the quicker you're going to be able to chase down Caddy. So nicely done by BJ to just make sure he can actually close that distance. And as you say, get a bit of damage off before he crashes down on top of them. But yeah, now in a position where he wants to try and crash down on GAM inside their own base, as it's Kiaya on the split push, but here comes a Weaver's Wall to cut off everyone from this top tower.
Nice wall here just to secure the objective. Trying to get some bounty gold on the top side of the map. I'm not sure that little gold injection is going to be enough to turn this game. They'll get a tier 2, but it's in trade for an inhib in the top lane. Potentially a second inhib in the mid lane as well, although the Baron has now timed out. We'll see if Team Wales want to keep pressing here. They don't have
more a case of if they can get the like if you can find very low, but the wave clear is pretty substantial. Slater and Kati, so there's no way. So you still it's not too terrible, but you're going to be pretty happy with realistically or the Jarvis whereas that inhibitor turn on the bottom side. So you reset, come back out of the map. You still 2 minutes before Baron, so maybe you can get a wave pushed in and at least establish vision. Re-establish back in towards Baron. And if you're Cat points to get into, he's going to be happy. Glory with flick backs. We've already seen these fights happen before, and it's gone so
minute and a half to the map. BJ this one, but Palam's going to reset BJ's ult as well as Artemis. Doesn't have a mana to fly in with, but he does have a blue buff. W's goes for the dive, pulls the enemy jungler back into the free BJ. On this one, it's another pick as Sparta, the absolute man of the hour for Team Wales right here. Decimating the laning phase and finding these moments in the late game.
And now finding a second inhibitor for Team Wales. BJ started on the bottom. This is the end. This is going to be a Team Wales victory.
Should be able to finish it. On the Victor Slater, on the Xayah, they've got to make magic happen to stay in this goes down, the Nexus will fall, and Team Wales, they show us why they were the second seed out from the VCS, and more importantly, why they were the first seed coming into this matchup.
It's very, very similar to what we saw in the VCS finals, though. Game 1 going across to, game 2 going across to Team Wales.